Let's just now everybody get uncomfortable.
Yep.
See,
Because now we can't have fun anymore. The show is about to begin.
Brother, you want to get uncomfortable? Dude, I will make people uncomfortable.
Pre-show content ever, man.
Oh, Tracy, do stand-up again.
No, it's more than that, dude. Oh, I can make this really awkward.
You're like, I got a 25-minute set, and it is not prepared.
No, even worse. 35 minutes, and it's all about Dan Snyder.
Woo!
What's up, guys? Hope we're doing well. I'm your host for today, Scooter Magruder. We've got a fantastic show lined up for you. We also got a special guest joining us today. But before we get into any of that,
Scooter, are you having a bachelor party?
What's happening?
Are you having a bachelor party? Like whenever whenever that happens?
Not
advice.
Oh yeah.
Vegas
okay, so
and try.
You know what? Let's bring the chat in. Okay, let's bring the chat in on some of this. In the pre-show, we were just talking about. I may or may not be getting engaged soon. Okay, so we were just talking
finally
about
getting a ring, baby. Let's go. Finally getting one. It's been too long.
I think I'm gonna rent out a basketball court and just have like a basketball session for like the bachelor party.
That honestly, that's pretty cool. I mean, now do you drink it all?
I don't drink, so
even the wine.
Nothing. I've actually never tasted alcohol.
Like gives you some water, and then you're like, Jesus, rascal.
Depending on the alcohol, you're not missing much, dude.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's what I'm thinking about for. We'll see. I don't know.
What are you scared of addiction, Scooter? You scared of ruining your life with a bad substance that we?
You scared of hangovers, dude. Come on. Everyone loves a good hangover in the morning.
This is why I don't drink. Okay, I went to the University of Florida, go Gators, and I just saw what my friends were doing and the consequences
how cool they looked when they got
of
drunk.
their actions. And I was like, I turned 21. And I was like, I don't really see the point in doing this. But I do see the point in doing clickbait. Joining me in the top left, we have TDG Tom Grossi. Tom, how are you doing today?
I'm great, but now I'm even better now because Brandon Perna's wearing green too.
Oh, speaking of Perna, urinating tree, how are you doing today?
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not wearing green, and it's a good feeling, sir. Good feeling.
Was this coordinated, Tom and Brandon? Perna,
No,
tell me what's going on.
Honestly, we just wake up in the morning. Sometimes we do a Freaky Friday thing. We wake up in each other's bodies.
You know how women can get on cycle?
It's
together?
true.
That's Tom and I with clothing a lot.
We bleed from the anus at the same time.
Talking about
you better get that checked. That's probably a prostate issue.
Oh, talking about prostate issues. We're going to start this bad boy off with something Commanders fans have been waiting for since they were the Redskins.
A playoff win.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dan Snyder has officially agreed to terms. It's not official yet, but the terms have been agreed to. The Washington Commanders will have new management. Rapid reaction. What are our thoughts? I'm a little bit sad. Who wants to take this one first?
At this point, I'm just waiting for the official confirmation. And when that happens, I am popping open a nice bottle of champagne, probably a $500 one. Let's call it from the Champagne region of France, maybe a Bordeaux to go along with it, and the finest Cuban cigar that I can smoke because it's just as illegal as Dan Snyder's reign has been for the past 25 years.
Wait. We have to hold on. We made a bet for this on Clickbait.
Oh, crap. We did?
We did.
We did.
That's actually a true story. Within a year. I'm pretty sure I said within a year.
Alexander
Look, we're going to have to go back and check the tape. But I'm pretty sure I said I think it's within a year. Dan is going to sell the team. Bro, don't make me find this clip and put it on Twitter.
Wait a minute.
Oh, my gosh.
Whoa.
Oh, boy.
Like, it's a big deal, right? That he's gone.
Yeah. It's a big deal. So it's $6.05 billion.
That means that, oh, my God, Scooter's won a bet.
I know. That's crazy.
That's honestly
that is crazy.
That's the big. I like Dan Snyder. Yeah, sure, that's fine. but Scooter won a bet and he's not going to get anything for it. But the fact that he did,
what's bigger news, that Scooter might get married or Scooter might win a bet, or
I would say winning a bet, because I think we all expected Scooter to get married.
Yeah, I mean, all of us, we can bet on the thing that we were talking about in the pre-show.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm going to be completely honest with you. Have you ever watched the ending of North by Northwest?
Leaders produced.
The train entering the tunnel? That ain't symbolism, baby.
What color is the Gatorade?
Oh my gosh. Okay, let's try and rein it in, boys.
To be quite frank, that's how Washington Commanders fans feel right now.
Listen.
Train in the tunnel, rockets exploding, fireworks blowing off left and right.
Something's going to be exploding. Something's going to be going.
I mean,
in
9 months, there's going to be a bunch of babies born in the D.C. area, and they're all going to be named not Dan Snyder. just a kind of a hint.
But who benefits the most from this move? Is it Dan Snyder himself, because he's about to inherit a whole bunch of money? He bought it with a group of investors for $800 million.
Yeah.
He bought it for $800 million, held it for 20 plus years. Now he's selling it for $6 million, which really isn't that big of a return on investment. It's 6 times, 6-7 times,
like 7.5 times. Yeah, I mean that's a big return for 25 years.
Scooter, he's getting $6 billion. What are you? He started off with no billions of dollars.
Wait, how much money do you have,
now he's got $6 billion.
I mean, he ran the team into the ground. He destroyed their reputation. Their stadium's a mess. Their team is a mess. They have no identity.
I found a 20 in my wallet the other day and was like,
oh, dude, I'm jealous of your 20.
All I'm saying is, when you look at crypto returns, 7 times over 20 years is not that exciting. That's all I'm saying.
When did this happen? When
crypto falls apart, dude. That's up and down.
What time?
And you have to consider he was making hundreds of millions in profit per year. So it's not just the mass increase. He was making bank just for destroying that football team.
He made money that's not even on the books. We are pretty sure of that.
Oh, yeah. He was probably dealing with drugs, and he's probably had some meth dealer that was dying of cancer and had blue meth sold throughout the D.C. area for a while.
Okay.
Anytime we make a joke, Tree is just like, I'm going to take this, and I'm going into the depths of hell. And when I come back, we're all going to be changed. We are going to
trust me. As I said, I don't go over that line. I defecate on it, son. Defecate.
Dan Snyder gave his meth dealer cancer.
That one makes sense. Honestly, that's about as evil as Dan Snyder as I can think of.
Okay. But getting back to the facts, the seriousness, the issues.
I have someone who's really, really excited about the Dan Snyder.
Who's really excited?
Selling. Yeah, I can get him. He's here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Go get him. You want me to go get him?
Go get him.
Definitely go get him.
Definitely go get him.
All right.
While Tom's doing that, I want to know.
I'll hide the screen.
I want to know from Tree and Perna, do you guys think this will have any influence at all on what the Commanders do next season? Will this affect anything? Will they be better now next season? Or is this going to take some time to trickle in for them to get up to it?
If my experience with ownership change is a precursor, they will not be better this season. Maybe the season after, but I was somebody posed the question, who's the worst owner in the NFL as Dan Snyder leaves? And I'm working on a video about the Raiders and the Browns draft history and which team's actually been worse, because they both have been so bad.
Yes.
And I think if your problem is the owner, it affects everything. So assuming the new ownership group is an improvement over Dan Snyder, they will be much better. And he is. So
you really believe that though, Brandon? You really think that if your owner sucks, you can't have a good team? You really believe that?
It makes it a lot harder. If their philosophy is to fire coaching staffs too soon, to not trust GMs, to not empower and pay players, to rip off their fans, to have a terrible if you could go down the list of everything Dan has trickled down that is cancerous in terms of productivity and success, then he is the epitome of how a bad owner can screw over your organization.
Brandon, let me correct you one thing. It wasn't that he was not paying players. He was overpaying for terrible players in free agency that did nothing. So it was even worse. And he was meddling in most of those affairs.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
Ladies and gentlemen, I told you guys we would have a special guest for this show. And appearing in your bottom left screen, it is none other than Wildflower. Can we give a warm welcome to Wildflower? Can we get some W's in the chat?
Oh, hey there. How we doing, friends and chicklets?
So, Wildflower, we were just wondering, rapid reaction, Dan Snyder is no more. How are you feeling about this?
Well, let me tell you a little something. First of all, you mentioned something about, how terrible Dan Snyder was and how because he was at the tippy top, it trickled down. That's the only time in history that trickle-down economics has actually worked. And it still was a failure. That's one. And two, in terms of Dan Snyder being gone, I'm not going to believe it until he's gone. He's on the yacht and we never see him ever again. And then I'll believe he's gone. But oh boy, the other day I was walking down the street and I found a pine cone. And that pine cone was the most beautiful thing that I ever saw. But then I found out that Dan Snyder's going to be gone. So now the pine cone is the second best day of my life.
That makes a lot of sense. And now, guys, I did say a special guest was joining. I was not lying. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for 5 Points Vids. He is joining us on remote location 5. Where are you at? What's going on? Take us through it.
I am in Arizona right now. Just having.
There's no echo whatsoever.
Oh, is it bad?
Audio sounds great. It's 10 out of 10.
Here, let me get out of this huge room. I'm at the watch. Yeah. Is it any better out here?
Absolutely not.
It honestly sounds like an angel, but like a biblically accurate one. The ones that are like monsters. And they got like 18
But what's
hours.
going on, 5? What are you doing? What's in Arizona?
I'm at the Watch Momentum facilities right now. We were taking live at bats against pro pitchers yesterday. We had a good old time. I was humiliated by a guy throwing high 80s, low 90s, and it was bad. But I had a good time, and I'll be back next week. So just checking in with y'all and making sure that you're doing good.
Absolutely.
Hey, so far, so good. And it looks like we got your special guest in the queue, ready for us to actually ask some questions. So, ladies and gentlemen, I was not lying. We actually do have a special guest for this episode.
I'm going to peace out, y'all. Love y'all.
All right, 5, take it easy.
5, what's the secret to life?
It's Dan Snyder selling. I'm very upset by that. I thought it was a great owner. Thought he was great.
That's fair.
Us and Scooter and Eagles fans. See ya.
Sad times. As 5 leaves, though, Marcus Whitman joins us. Not to be confused with the American physician and missionary, we are welcoming Marcus Whitman, NFL draft analysis. He is also a Packers fan. Marcus, welcome to Clickbait. How are you doing? Tell us a little bit about what you do, how you got started, and welcome.
Wow, I didn't expect you to bring Grandpa into this, man. That was...
Oh, yeah. We're going way back.
I am actually a descendant, by the way, of the Marcus.
Oh,
yeah.
There it is.
Is this? Are you being legit or?
Oh, I'm dead ass serious, man. There's a college out there, Whitman College, Walla Walla, Washington.
That's your.
Direct descendant. Yeah.
What the heck?
All right.
Bro, that's your grandfather?
I'm named after him, and my sister is named after who his wife was.
What?
Oh, I'm mixing up my ancestors. I'm sorry. His wife was Narcissa.
I mean, I'm going to be honest. Those mutton chops look fantastic.
I should give that a look.
Wait. So this one's not your grandfather?
That's Grandpa.
Oh, it is.
I was just mixing up. His wife was Narcissa. My sister's name is not Narcissa. I was mixing up some descendants there.
Well, now that we've got that out of the way, how did you leave the family business and start on the NFL draft side of things?
Do you know how things end for this guy here?
Let's get a history first.
Okay, let's do this, man.
Wow, he looks like Justin Bieber in that picture.
Well, he was Yeah, I can't say I've ever like done like live history lessons. This is a first, but he was spreading the good word of God out west, and he was like you said, a physician. They were helping treat I want to say it was smallpox. Don't quote me on that. But they were helping all of the Native Americans out west as a part of the kind of Oregon Trail movement. The Canadians came down, and do we have any Canadians in this room? Okay, because they're the ones that gave smallpox to the Native Americans.
Wow, Canada!
But they blamed Marcus, and they snuck in I think to their house, and they cut his head off and Narcissa's head off.
Oh,
In
Whoa, he had his
broad
head
daylight.
chopped off?
Yeah, got his head cut off. Yep.
With what?
I don't know. I'd love to.
I feel like somewhere his head is sitting as a trophy somewhere in Walla Walla.
Bro, okay. Well, listen, I'm glad that did not happen to you, that they did not round up all the descendants. But please tell us how you got from grandpa.
I think you should
With the
just leave right
smallpox.
now. This has been the perfect interview.
This is gold.
It's the
man.
peak. It's like, yep, Marcus Whitman,
How
grandpa.
did we go from smallpox
Best Canadian in this
NFL
year's draft. Marcus, tell
analysis?
us. Which
Oh, there's
Canadian?
there's one
won't
that came
cut
to my
off
mind, but
anybody's head.
Chris
I
Jericho.
can't name any Canadians off the top of my head,
Darn.
Rest in Hitman Hart.
unfortunately, that I can call out.
That's fair.
Kevin
No,
Owens.
Yeah.
Tron.
Sami
Where
Zayn.
are you?
But thanks for having me, guys. It's
Yes.
already been
Thanks
fun.
for coming on, Marcus.
Yeah.
First question, though. How did you even get started into this? All right. Clearly, your family wants you to go into like the missionary work,
Medicine.
all that stuff. But how did you get over here to the NFL side of things? Take us through it.
Yeah, so it goes back to like coming out of college. Shout out to University of St. Thomas, St. Paul, D3, the alma mater of Seahawks GM John Snyder. And I was kind of working in I want to be in sports business, get a job in sports. Sounded great. Met some people, did some sports business jobs. Timberwolves. There's a small team, a baseball team up north in Alexandria, Minnesota. Did some grunt work up there, but just kind of decided I didn't want to be on the business side of things, but I wanted to take one last little shot at maybe something sticking on. Yeah, that's right. On the sports side of stuff. So I started a YouTube channel, applied to work for Pro Football Focus, and I started doing an internship for a buddy of mine that's an agent. So just kind of, charted some different paths. PFF was going great for a while, and then YouTube just kind of started to grow through Madden initially. And then a couple of years ago, I made the decision to kind of export all the Madden stuff to a side channel and focus on just NFL on the main channel.
Okay. So sort of over time, you had your hand in a lot of different jobs. And then you said, you know what, it's time to go.
Yes, sir.
And guys, if you guys have any questions, feel free to jump in. It doesn't have to.
Oh, wait, any of us can ask a question?
Oh, yeah. Anyone can ask questions. I'm just here making sure we stay on track.
How much of a draft expert do you consider yourself, Marcus?
On what scale?
We're saying the Todd McShay,
How well do you know
Daniel
this draft
Jeremiah
class?
scale. Where is Marcus Whitman on this scale?
I'm setting you up to answer a question about my Broncos. So
To quote another draft analyst, I'm just a small fish, if you know that reference, Brett Coleman, Pat McAfee situation there. But no, I like to consider myself on par as far as how many players I've watched, and I think I'm getting closer as far as the lingo and terminology and being able to keep pace with all the top guys, but obviously long ways to go.
You right now.
Oh,
Denver Broncos don't have a pick until the third round because that GM you mentioned, John Snyder, the devil, robbed us of all of our draft picks. Who's a player you could see falling to the third round that you think is going to be a great draft pick? Doesn't have to fill a Broncos need, but just like a guy who if he's available in the third, any team should get him, but more specifically, my team should maybe move one of their 2 third-rounders to go up and draft him. Because I don't know shit about the 3rd or 4th or 5th or 6th round of this draft, or even the 2nd round of this draft, because I don't want to study it. So tell me who I should want. Tell me who I should need.
Okay, here's a name for you. Let's go with Garrett Williams, cornerback out of Syracuse. What did you say the 3rd round pick? What number was it?
I think they have 67 and 68.
Okay, that could work.
So close to
could work.
greatness.
Yeah. Garrett Williams kind of missed a lot of time in his final year, but lightning quick feet, smart zone guy, not ideal size to kind of like, hang with more physical receivers man to man, but with Joseph coming in, the new defensive coordinator, it's going to be a lot of zone. Look at that Broncos secondary. They got a lot of pieces, but I feel like they could use one more guy back there. And he would be right around that range there in the early 3rd round.
Who's your favorite corner in this draft?
Definitely Deonte Banks out of Maryland. I'm realizing like everybody, once they get to him, they fall in love. Because he does everything so well. He's physical. He's got that, like, I'm not going to say it. He's got the dog in him. But I'm so sick of the term. But press man.
Him with the dog in him?
Yes, he is.
Okay, before we continue and chop it up and tell us who our teams need to draft, we've had a couple of analysts on this show before, and we always ask, okay, what was your best hit? Like you called this before anyone else called it. Okay, so we need the best, and we also need the flip side. Like you went for it, and this time it didn't. It went the other way for you. Kind of.
Me, Jared.
So tell us the best and worst, your worst takes, best and worst takes, and then we can go from there.
Well, the first thing, just on like a big scale that comes to my mind as something that was a pretty sweet hit early on was, do you remember when everyone was saying Kyler was going to play baseball and he was like a 2nd or a 3rd round pick?
Yeah, it was a 1st round pick, first like 6th overall by the A's.
Yeah. So like before he had even really declared for football and said that he was going to like go play football, it was pretty universal that he was just going to go play baseball. And I put out a mock draft like January 7th, and I was like, there is no way a guy is going to go ride yellow buses for 3 years to maybe make it in pro baseball. And I went as far as saying this guy's going to be the number 1 pick. The Cardinals are going to move off of Josh Rosen and take this guy. And now, like in hindsight, it doesn't sound like much, but at the time I had just gotten into him. I was like, this guy's amazing. Like he is going number 1. This guy's going to play football. And when I put that mock draft out, there was a lot of pushback. Andrew, there you go.
Appreciate you, Andrew. Appreciate you.
King Andrew.
Love it.
There you go.
Don't mind the donations. We have a little thing that whoever gets donated the most amount of money gets punished in the next episode. That's how these things work here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a little odd, but it's our thing, and we love it.
Hey, if it works. And then as far as me
too, isn't it?
That's fair. That's fair.
As far as a complete whiff, I was definitely on the Herbert hate train. Had him as a 2nd round guy. As late as like February, I had Jake Fromm above him. Fortunately, by the time the draft rolled around, I didn't stand by that one. But I was not a Herbert guy. I thought the Chargers completely messed up.
I still think that. Did you guys watch the Chargers game against the Jaguars in the playoffs?
Well, that wasn't really on Herbert. That was more of his offensive line.
I
And
don't
they were
know,
dancing
guys.
around their own incompetence for
Herbert
weeks.
overrated.
Oh my God! Shut up, Perna.
Herbert, as I said, I was one that was ragging on Herbert too. But I'm
You
gonna be
know, and
honest.
here's the thing. My name's Brandon Perna. I like Austin Eckler a lot. You know,
Oh my God, I
Colorado
love
guy,
Austin.
but that Herbie.
Wow.
Austin.
Okay, Marcus, back to
Yes, sir.
your
Which
specialty.
take almost got you beheaded?
Tom, are you laughing because you know?
There could be a bunch. I don't. Is it Devin Lloyd? Because Devin Lloyd, you pushed it real hard on Twitter because that went into my sphere. How much better he was than Quay Walker, and then he got benched. So
I think I think Quay definitely is where I've been beheaded quite a lot. I'm gonna stand by it though, man. That pick was horrible. If you want to get into it,
but Devin Lloyd was not better. He got benched.
No, that's fair. That's fair. Either one though. I just drafting a linebacker round 1 is just not a good use of resources.
They ignored it for so long. I mean, I can see why they did it, but they ignored the position for so long they didn't care. But Devondre Campbell, they're like, oh, this is what it's like to have a good guy in the middle. We should do that more. And then they did.
Well, you're telling
Very
me
true.
that Blake Martinez getting 130 tackles wasn't good enough for the Packers?
Nope, it was not, because he was a leading tackler, but he was like 3 or 4 yards past the line of scrimmage when he was making those tackles.
exactly.
And he went to the Giants, and I was like, I like Blake Martinez, like as a person, like, and I think he's a solid player, but like, yeah, no, he's not the guy who's going to be a game changer over the middle. Yeah, no.
Yeah, I was never a Blake guy, man. You put it perfectly. It was always like 4 yards down the field.
Yeah, that was how Jalen Smith actually ended up with the Cowboys after a couple seasons, unfortunately. But getting back to the draft, Marcus, who can you see as like, who's the sleeper who's going to shoot up the draft boards, going to shock all of us? We didn't see this one coming. Who's that guy for this draft, Marcus?
A hot riser right now is going to be Cedric Tillman out of Tennessee. He's kind of he's coming off the injury that cut his season short. He was awesome last season. And then the Tennessee offense was just kind of exploding into what it was when he went down before Hooker went down. And now in the last few weeks, he's gotten healthy. He's been able to work out. And in a class that just, I'm sure you guys know, it's just a bunch of small receivers. It's like Quentin Johnson, a bunch of small guys. So in a class that teams are going to be looking for that X on the outside, a ball winner, in the Packers case, a run blocker, you know, like he could very well sneak up into it. I'm not going to quite go like first round. I think that'd be really surprising. But if he goes like, if he's one of those first 3 or 4 guys off the board in the second round, kind of like where T. Higgins went, I think that could surprise some people there. And then there's a couple of corners I want to shout out as potential like day one, round 1 guys that could sneak in there. Tyreek Stevenson out of Miami. Awesome, like press man, physical dude, and tested well. 4.45 40. He's built. He's 6 foot, 200 pounds. He's got great arm length, round up to 33 inches there, which is about as good as it gets for a corner. And you know, he wasn't the best in zone. He had some coverage busts. But if your team's like the Steelers with like the 33rd or the 32nd pick, even as high as like the Ravens at like 22 or the Vikings at 23, if you miss out on those top 4 corners and you're looking for a guy that can be a day 1 starter and go head to head in a press man scheme, I think teams are going to be really interested in him. And that would definitely be a surprise if he came off there at like 22 or 23. And then the other guy is DJ Turner out of Michigan, who's just, I mean, he killed it at the combine. The speed, the acceleration. We know how these teams feel about, athleticism. We've seen the Trey Waynes of the world kind of sneak in late. At Eric Stokes, another one in Green Bay. Like you want that trade at that position, and his tape's not bad. So wouldn't be surprised if he came late 1.
Okay, and of course we got to ask the inverse. What are some players you might see slipping? Do you see a Jalen Carter falling because of all the troubles he's been in? Who are some of these players who might end up not going as high as they thought they might be?
Yeah, I think Jalen Carter is a super fascinating conversation because it just kind of keeps stacking up with a lot of the kind of off-field stuff. It started with McShay's tweet, and everyone's like, whatever, we see this every year. And then the big news story came out, the tragic incident, to say the least, was just a very immature, big mistake that led to, tragic loss of life. Shows up at the pro day 2 weeks later, out of shape, can't get through the workout. He's telling teams, don't interview me if I'm not a top 10 pick, almost signaling a little like entitlement, honestly, like, nothing bad could ever happen to me. Like, I'm obviously a top 10 pick. And you never know what to do with this stuff. If we're guys like us and we're just sitting on the outside looking in, everybody wants to be optimistic. He's a young kid and he can, get his head on the right track. And If he does, everyone agrees this guy's a top 2 or 3 talent in the draft. But you also got to look at that school, man. They've had in the last 3 years 2 first-round picks, Isaiah Wilson and DeAndre Baker, out of the league within 2 years. Adam Anderson was kicked out of school, was supposed to be a first-round pick.
What are they doing?
So they are not, it's not all a bunch of choir boys that end up coming out of Georgia. So there is a legitimate risk there, I think, and it's really hard to know, man, what you do with that. But if it's as bad as it could be, yeah, he could slip into the mid-teens. I don't think I still think the Bears at 9 or the Eagles at 10 is probably where the slide stops. But I think that might be more likely than him going like 5 or 6 at this point.
Okay. I want to open it up to my colleagues. If you guys have any questions you would like to ask, I've got a couple more. If there are no imminent questions from you guys. So we do know. Oh, go ahead, Tom.
Give us a second, Scooter.
My bad. I was like,
you knock on my door and then you
I
slap
gotta
me in the
build
face
up.
when it takes me 3 seconds to answer. Maybe I had something in the oven. All right.
I'm sorry.
It's Jeopardy rules, and then you have the question.
Good
What is the
God.
question?
My bad.
I didn't have a question for him.
No further questions.
I can't with you.
I got
Hey, listen.
I do have a question, more free agency related. Which one do you think is the going to have the best outcome in terms of a free agent signing, and which one do you think is going to be the worst?
Okay. Best.
Brandon
Let's
Cooks.
go.
Stop
Let's
playing.
go with Jesse Bates out in Atlanta.
I guess that wasn't a free agency
You've
free
got the Saints staff coming in. Think about like how good Marcus Williams was for them as that true, patrol the middle of the field, play center field, combine the ability to make plays while also being the definition of a safety and don't give up those big plays. Jesse Bates might be the cream of the crop in the NFL, and they got him for 16 a year, which was like not that bad for who might be the best safety in the NFL. So the scheme fit, the need, the value was just incredible. And honestly, they just got Okudah on Yamada. Like they are loading up on that defense in a really bad NFC South. So I'm really excited to watch that defense next year. I've always just loved that scheme in general in New Orleans. So I'll go that route. And you know what? Let's stay in that division for the worst signing with Derek Carr. I mean, what's the point? Like seriously.
Oh, Jesus.
I mean, hey, don't interrupt your enemy when he's making a mistake.
Didn't like Herbert poo-pooing on Derek Carr. Not bad.
I think
Marcus.
the
Not
best
bad.
case scenario is just sneak in. The Saints they've been doing this kick the can down the road since like 2014 when they signed Jairus Byrd. Do you guys remember that? They were already
Packers really wanted him. The Packers
Yeah.
fans literally wanted him so badly because we needed safety help so badly, and he went there and just stunk. They paid
was
him
so
like
bad.
good money too.
Yep. But they were already in negative cap space back then when they signed him. And then every offseason since, it's been like, they can't sign anybody. And then they just keep doing it. So I just think the roster's completely depleted. We saw them lose 3 defensive linemen in free agency. The secondary's thinned out. No more Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. No more Marcus Williams. Offensively, they have some pieces, but like that is not a like great situation that Derek Carr is going to step in and they're going to win a bunch of games this year. They might win 9 or 10 because the conference and the division is weak. But then what? Are you going to get through the Niners and the Eagles and beat an AFC team in the Super Bowl? Like, no, you're not. Derek Carr's never won a Super Bowl, a playoff game in his career. So I don't get why you don't go with more of a bridge option, actually take a reset year, and get this thing, take one step back so you can take 2 steps forward. Right now, it's just like just treading
you
water.
mentioned the Niners and the Eagles, but you just didn't mention the Cowboys. What are your thoughts on the Cowboys since we're here, Marcus? Let's what are your thoughts? Who do we need?
I should have brought them up because the 2 moves they made, getting Brandon Cooks and Stephon Gilmore, were phenomenal moves. Like seriously, I think those were 2 glaring holes for that team.
I knew I liked
that.
I knew. Okay. We're on the same page. As long as we're on the same page, that's what matters the most here.
Yeah.
I like those moves as well. What do we need to do in this draft?
Two or
How
three
can we bring this full circle and just go into the season full steam ahead? Who do we need on the Cowboys, Marcus?
Mazzie Smith.
Okay.
He's
okay.
If you're talking about a win now, fill your last need, like this guy is going to help set us over, you know, get us where we need to go. He's the guy. He might be a touch rich. I have a first to a second round grade on him, so I don't think it's rich. Some people do. So, you know, not always right.
We like to trade down. Okay. We like to trade down.
That's an option. Yep. I'd like that. But you're looking at a D line that they tried it with who's the guy that brought in from Las Vegas last year, the vet.
I think we actually we brought in Jonathan Hankins.
That's what I'm thinking of. Yep.
Okay. But we brought him back this year too.
Yeah.
So he's back. He'll be back. But Carlos Watkins is not back. I want to get one more question in. If you guys have anything, you can ask that as well. But we know you're a Packers fan. Is this correct information?
You look like a Seahawks fan to me.
I got it all going, man. I got Chiefs hiding down there. We got Patriots. We got Colts.
Oh, you got the Chiefs bank robber down there.
Oh boy.
Okay, so Marcus, being a Packers fan, how fed up are you with this whole Aaron Rodgers saga? Are you milking it on your YouTube channel? Are you wishing this man was traded 7 months ago? Like what's going on? Because we know one perspective. We need another.
I've just kind of I guess distanced my interest in it. I think, you know, once it kind of came out, he's going to the Jets. They're working on the trade. I'm just like, I'm not really going to stress about waiting on when it happens or any of that. I will say I'm stoked for the Jordan Love era. For all of my disagreements with the Packers front office decisions, I did give the Jordan Love pick actually a good grade. Where I disagreed was A.J. Dillon in the second and Josiah DeGuara in the third. I thought they could have had their cake and ate it too. Was screaming for a guy like Darnell Mooney in that draft, and they just didn't pull the trigger on a receiver. But Love was my number 2 quarterback in that draft. Talk about draft takes, you know, what's been good, what's been bad. We're finally going to find out where having him that high is going to place. And I'm more focused on the Jordan Love era and less interested. And obviously I'm interested to see what they get back, but I'm not going to, you know, sweat about it really.
That's fair. Last question from me. Jesus. Will Lamar Jackson be on the Ravens this season?
Scooter, I think you're getting destroyed today, bud.
Honestly, I'll take it.
That's a $300. Jesus
It's
Christ.
a good day.
I thought it was $30.
No, that's a $300.
Honestly,
My gosh.
That's one of those where you got to check the currency and make sure.
We're gonna get emo Dak Perna.
I mean,
my God,
dude,
yes.
I have a punishment, but it's not going to be kosher for this program.
What the heck? We're done. Marcus, last question. Where does Lamar Jackson end up this season? Is he on the Ravens with OBJ? Did OBJ know something and that's why he signed with the Ravens? What do you know that we don't, Marcus? Tell us now.
I know nothing.
Okay.
Hate to disappoint,
That's
but I do think he's probably back in Baltimore just when all the dust settles. I think time heals all wounds, and now that the market has kind of played itself out, I think Atlanta is the one team that could still make sense and kind of sneak in there. But it doesn't seem like they're that interested in it. They keep putting out all these, like, just stupid, by the way, like referring to like, oh, Deshaun Watson was available or was always available, but Lamar is missed so many games the last couple of years, so that's why we're not interested in Lamar where we were in Deshaun. Just weird stuff coming out there. But I think those are your two teams, and I would at this point put it at 70-80% he's back in Baltimore. The OBJ thing was huge.
I agree with that.
Marcus Whitman, ladies and gentlemen, where can we find and follow your content?
You can find me on YouTube here, That Franchise Guy. We got a great video coming on Saturday. Just before I sat down here, I had Thomas Dimitroff, the 12-year GM of the Falcons, and 2-time executive of the year. Sat down with him and Eric Eager from Sumer Sports, and we did a mock draft. Really cool to get his perspective. So on all that background stuff that we don't really ever get a window into. So that's going to drop on Saturday. You can check that out, and got a lot more draft stuff coming.
And what's
There
your
she
podcast
is.
also? Stop playing. Plug your podcast. What is your podcast?
Podcast is the Fully Inflated Football Podcast,
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
which is a Tom Brady shot.
Oh,
There
yeah.
it is.
Screw that
Marcus
guy.
Whitman, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you coming on. You're welcome back anytime, brethren.
Thanks for having me, guys. That was fun.
Thanks
See
for
ya.
coming on, man.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a couple more segments, then we're going to close this bad boy out.
No, we don't.
We're
we don't have
We're
any
going
more
to run
segments
through
yet.
this super fast.
We got 3 more
Saquon
hours
holding
of
out.
programming.
Saquon holding out. What are our thoughts? Brandon, go. Saquon holding out. Thoughts?
Love it. Don't play a down for the Giants this year, Saquon.
I agree. Tom, thoughts?
Saquon don't want to run, so don't run.
Crucial. Tree, thoughts?
Ballsy.
They're paying $40 million to Danny Derps. And quite frankly, I think Saquon was the carrier of that offense. Daniel Jones was a passenger. Get that bag, buddy, because quite frankly, running backs don't get paid. And as we know from Saquon earlier, he's had a couple knee injuries. One more, he might not be the same.
Real
Look
quick
what
about
they
this
did.
too, because Aaron Jones took a pay cut to stay with the Packers, and everyone was like, "Oh my god, like that's amazing." He's like, "I'm still making $11 million. I never made $11 million for it. Like that's a big deal for me. Didn't want to be greedy." But it's also like it just goes to show, like Aaron Jones is a really good running back, and like he should be getting like top money, but the market is so bad.
Running
It
backs,
is
it's
so bad for running backs.
we
right
learned
now.
that with Le'Veon and Melvin Gordon. There is no market for running backs.
And
I mean,
So-
I'm with you guys.
It's not
Get
the
your money.
mid '90s where they were paid big bucks.
Get your money, Saquon, because look how they did Zeke. Get your money. Bucks refusing to trade Devin White. Devin
Poo-poo
White
face.
wants $17 to $18 million. Is he worth it? Tree, you're shaking your head.
I mean, Devin White is a incredible linebacker, but I mean, Lauren Sapp even said it in a few of his videos, like he had a bit of a lazy streak in him last year. I don't know if it was because of how bad Tampa Bay was or just because he was upset the pay he was getting or lack thereof. He was a 5th overall pick, so he should be getting some decent compensation. But at the same time, I don't know what you really do if you're Tampa Bay, because I feel like this is the kind of guy that holds out and doesn't play if he doesn't get what he wants.
Let's see how it
Linebackers
plays
are
out.
the running backs of the defense in terms of like value.
Tampa
What they,
takes
I thought-
what they get paid.
Linebackers, what is he an outside linebacker?
He's inside.
Inside.
So
He's
isn't
inside.
that the QB of the defense?
No,
Usually it would be. If he has red dot, he
The
would
middle
be.
linebacker
Or
is the QB
Levante
of the
David
defense.
would be in that role probably. I think it's Levante, but and those during the Bucks Super Bowl run, those two were like just an insanely
were
important part of
insane.
that defense.
Mhm.
Like
Worth
I say
17 to 18
linebacker
million?
is like the running back of defense.
That's the
in
problem.
terms
If
of
it's
it-
17, 18, you're talking about one of the
Sorry, we
elite
didn't want to go again
linebackers.
today, Brandon.
Is Devin White an elite
Stupid
linebacker
things.
right
Stupid
now?
things again.
I say no.
Continue the conversation tomorrow.
That's fair. That's fair. Last thing before we get out of here. Brown Stadium sponsor is no more. They said we're out. Thoughts?
Who was
Surprised
their
it took this
sponsor?
long.
Can any of us name their sponsor?
First Energy.
Should be a law firm at this point.
No, it's going to be Pilot Flying J Stadium, and we're going to like it.
All right, guys, what you got coming out this week?
Well,
Brandon, anything dropping?
Oh, tomorrow, if I can get through the edit, I've got a. I wrote it this morning. I was like, I'm gonna bang out a quick, fun refresher on how bad the Broncos have been at drafting since Peyton Manning left. 21-minute episode. I gotta edit all the stuff into it, and it's all of our failures, and it's not good, guys.
Kinky.
It is not good.
Kinky.
Okay. I will be looking forward to that. TDG, what you got coming out?
Dropped a Wildflower Commander's reaction today. Tomorrow, I'm going to do some draft stuff, probably a mock draft and GPS and Q&A and all that great wonderful stuff. Yeah, I want to try to bang out all these reactions before the draft, but we'll see how it happens. I got 11 teams left.
That's
All
fair.
right. I mean, you went that far. That's still pretty impressive.
I do all 32 for like 4 years running now.
That's how you do it, man.
Even the
Tree,
Jaguars.
what you got coming out?
Well, I did AFC free agency sports ball came out earlier today. I'm going to get NFC out in a few days. And then NHL playoff haters guide probably this weekend. So a bit of a busy time.
Go Abs.
Very busy, very busy. I have a announcement video dropping soon. I've been doing something the past 3 months that I want to bring you guys in and finally let you guys know what I've been doing. I got a Orlando Magic after the season video dropping. I will also be doing all NBA teams like that. And I may be making a Commanders reaction video as well because it's only right. You guys have suffered long enough. This has been Clickbait Sports.
Wait, we gotta
one
do
more thing.
Countdown, yeah. She just
Ooh,
wants
that
to
was
avoid
close.
the punishment because he probably got punished. And I don't even, again, my screen is 2019. I don't even know where we are. The thing froze, but it's okay. You can't get away from it. Whoever's going to lose, you need to accept your destiny. And Scooter, if it's you, oh, you're going to be Emo Dak.
Yes. Emo Dak.
No, we need a first-person view of him on his first night in bed. Come on, man.
Emo
That's what we need.
Emo Dak.
That's what we
Emo
need to.
Dak.
Bro, I almost made it out. Y'all almost didn't notice.
All right, so here's
Yeah,
the thing.
trust me,
I think I made 322.37, which is good, but I think because he got the 300 bomb.
Honestly, 75-60. So you know what? I lose. I'm happy.
Perna?
Let's go.
I got 472.45.
Scooter. What's your number?
I'm at 619. Unfortunately.
I'm gonna live forever.
We're done.
Dude, listen, Emo Dak, you have to like go Hot Topic, all black,
I can do
chains, whole night. Got like you just got to go full hairstyle. Just got to go full blown
That's it.
Emo
I'm gonna
Dak.
do this.
I said
and I'm
I was going to
turn
do a
it
live stream
in-
of your first night after marriage. That's what I was
I'm
going
gonna
to
I'll
turn
take that
it
too.
into content. This is how Dak feels now that Zeke is gone. This is a
Emo
blessing
Dak.
in disguise.
Emo Dak.
You
Ladies
have
and
seen
gentlemen.
the actual Emo Dak though, right, Scooter?
Say it again.
You've seen the actual Emo
Yeah, I
Dak?
have on your page. I'm pretty sure
Okay.
on your Twitter. I was like, what the heck? Ladies and gentlemen, Emo Dak coming next week. This has been Clickbait.
And I have subscribed to the Patreon for the hour-long Tom Brady AI stand-up special. I will be watching that very soon. I purchased it today.
All right. Emo Dak coming next week. Scooter, next few months.
Bye.